What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here on the familiest of Fridays.
Oh, hell yeah.
Can't wait to discuss all the latest info, news, updates, and yes, obviously we have quite a few things to discuss today that are Cowboy related, Cowboy adjacent.
Cowboy direct, though.
Yes, and as we get into things here tonight, of course, take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily, and hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
You said the word hop. D-hop. We'll talk about D-hop in a little bit.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny's going to hop over here. So, speaking of hops, we have to also shout out to people who give the drops of love. Like you just saw Jason Renfro kicking things off officially here with his dollar holler.
That was a Go Cowboys. Hell yeah, from him. We had Dwayne Broussard, the top dog, DB.
He had the pre-stream love with a $2 holler and a classic.
Go Cowboys. Hell yeah, but you got to let them know, not just that side of things, but the people that keep the thing going here, the drops and the winners, I would say, of the week, right? Like David S.
Thank you so much, David. Of the week. He's not just the sponsor of the week, he's also the Cash App King. Shout out to you, David S. Appreciate you. And not just him, Marco Seppian bossing that stream around with 95 points.
Yeah, so those are people that carry the torch into this week. Who's going to carry it out? Well, you're seeing, I see your name right above there, MCW with one gifted membership as well as Scorpio. But the leader in the monthly gifted membership side of things, it is the one who stays skeptical. Skeptical fan, much love to him as always. Right now, the leader of gifting memberships, which is a new feature here we've only had since the beginning of this month. So much love to Skeptical fan on that and all the other things he does for the channel, Marco Seppi and David S. But who are the people leading this week, baby? And it's the guy who just dropped the dollar holler in the chat there. He's the leader right now in the Cash App side. He's got a couple in there. He's building it a little bit, but still got himself the lead in first place in the Cash App side. On the overall board, Jason Renfro was up there, but so is Brandon James Shea, who's right there. And above everyone is the stream boss, Mark Hosepian. He is the current leader on that board. Yesterday he came in, dropped a little love, and took a little lead right there, and is in first place on the overall board. But as you guys saw, Jason Renfro dropping the pre-stream love. Dwayne Broussard, they're moving on up on this overall board. And Fan Friday continues into a Saturday tomorrow. A one-time only viewing live stream tomorrow, so you got to be here or you missed the stream, right? Because there's no replays, so make sure you catch us tomorrow for that. Sunday's the finale wrap-up for the entire weekend as we crown some champions. Will it be Jason Renfro? Will it be Mark Hosepian? We shall see who are the winners. So on that note, there's other outside of the Super Chats, which, again, just started again at the beginning of this month, and, of course, the memberships and the gifting memberships, which, again, you can check out all those, perks with that join button, or it's pinned in the chat and the description as well below.
Yeah, but there's also a few other ways to show and drop the love here at MCF through the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family. You have the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, of course, you have the Streamlabs link. Lets your comments show up here, right, like a super chat.
Yeah. Now, I also want to say, we got to do it's Fan Friday. It's every day we give the shout out to those in the over everything or that star level membership. So first and foremost, much love the Skeptical fan, Lincoln Kane, and
Dwayne Broussard.
And the man Dwayne Broussard. All three guys are part of that star level membership. As that gets rolling, as it grows, we're going to do extra perks for that. As you guys know, you guys that have been in that membership know what's going to go down when it comes to some of the perks
that are percolating.
Yeah, in that star level membership and the over everything membership. If you guys dare join that, you can join the channel here for an entire night, for an entire news live stream, and discuss the news with us. That's just one of the extra perks on top of all the other ones in the navy, blue, silver, and star. But silver level gets the shout outs today as well, baby. So without further ado, I think it's time to give those big shout outs to the silver level members.
Thank you very much to Jason Renfro, Marissa, Mr. A. Lavelle.
He's the all-time silver level, like straight across the board, long-time member there.
And the man JQ, Justin Coral.
The Q man. Much love to him. Appreciate all you guys and all the levels. Navy, blue, silver, star, and the over everything level. When we'll see if anybody who's going to be the first person to join that. We shall see, I guess, in the future. No one's in it yet. Appreciate everybody on that side of things. And baby, who's in the house tonight? As we open up the panel, we're going a little bit cartoony style here on Fan Friday, and you see our the great drawings by, again, another. It was a person that did this that skeptical fan kind of hired to get this done, right?
So we're doing this Woody the Woodpecker style. Just, no reason in particular.
Yeah, it's just Fan Friday. So we're having fan
I want to see
here.
if anybody picks up that reference. Real quick, let me go ahead, do the shout-outs here in the chat. And yes, thank you very much to Big DZ83. Much love. Q Ball, what it do? Christian E in the house. And yeah, the Patriots have a little bit more than that going on right now. Long Brain TV, hello and hi.
I'm going to make a mention about the Patriots in a minute.
Said Scorpio, what's up? Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. Jason Renfro, much love to you, of course.
Which, by the
Tommy
way,
Montoya representing.
Mr. Montoya in the house. I do have to say, I'm sneaking in there because Jason Renfro just dropped a dollar holler and a Go Cowboys in that act of cash.
Thank you, Jason.
Much love to Jason Renfro as he continues his lead there and crawls up a little bit closer to that top spot, Mark Hosep.
He's going for that crown. So let me see. I think I just shouted out Tommy Montoya, but just in case, shout out to you, Tommy Montoya.
Bonus.
We done Boys 77. Hello and hi. We have, who else is here? Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think, is that even here? Nope. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett.
Hell yeah. Repping Memphis with that star.
Freedom First, what's up?
Hell yeah.
Let me see. Okay, yeah. So I do think that is everybody here. So, baby, I'm ready if you're ready.
Oh, I'm kind of ready. It is Fan Friday. Getting ready for that weekend, and we're chilling here. So let's talk about NFL news real quick. And I'm saying this is the only NFL news that really doesn't concern the Cowboys. Although I will say, our own Mike McCarthy has been, basically having a jog through OTAs here, right? We know that we lost OTAs. I think we lost it this year, right? And last year we lost it as well, a day. And also McCarthy has been fined in 2 years worth, right? 2 separate off seasons, $150,000. And speaking of the man, skeptical fan, gifting a membership, adding another one, 17 now for the month. And a Philadelphia Eagle fan who loves the Cowboys is now part of the membership here.
Ooh, shout out to you, Frank Moyer.
Frank's, I will say this. Look, he's an Eagle fan, but he's been part of the family for many, many years.
Yes. He's restricted to only one emoji, though.
Well, here's the thing. I will say this. We have a couple interesting anti-Philly ones, and more to come soon, right?
Yes.
So
that's why I said, you're restricted to one emoji for now. Just one in particular. The rest are for Cowboy fan use only. But I'm just kidding. But
welcome into the fan.
That is part of the fun of the membership gifting, right? You do have to be here in order to be a lucky winner. So
right?
thank you again, skeptical fan. Much love to you. Adding you.
Yes.
Obviously.
I'll have to check on this, but I think he's right behind Brandon James Shea right now in fourth place.
Go.
Fourth place still, but getting closer and closer. But it's about the love and sharing it, right? And so we truly appreciate you, skeptical fan. I mean, we've got the shirts we've worn. We're going to, of course, show him with the hat. So many things that he's helped with the channel. And, now with gifting memberships, truly, it's a double bonus here. You're giving love here, giving your thoughts, your messages, but also you're letting other people enjoy that navy blue, silver, and star. Hey, you never know. Maybe Frank will be a Cowboy fan next week. You never know. We're converting those Eagle. Those Eagle fans are sick of their Eagle. One Super Bowl to our 5, no competition. I mean, it is an emoji in there, so.
Yes. But again, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Much love.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not really sure where you got diverted there. So when it came to some of the NFL news.
Well,
so real quick, let me go ahead and hit up the chat here real quick. Long Brain TV. No, it's not that. I'm reading this comment. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess you could compare the Cowboys to the Yankees. Obviously, as far as maybe
I think in the
size
history,
of the popularity,
I think
or the
in the
way
history
that
size of it,
within their individual sport, in the sense of the Cowboys are obviously like the biggest football team, I would say, and I would say the Yankees are also the biggest baseball team and probably the most well known.
Yeah, I think it's popular.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what I mean by biggest. So although obviously you could probably say that, I mean, both of them are, I think they're number one respective earners on each side when you think about it. Just throwing that out there. But real quick,
man, skeptical fan again here, dropping a $3.84 holler. And that puts him now officially over Brandon James Shea into third place. What does skeptical fan have to say?
Ooh, keeping it classic with a Go
Oh,
Cowboys.
hell yeah. Always a Go Cowboys. And we haven't started the Cowboy news yet.
Yeehaw.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Skeptical fan. Much love. I appreciate you. Of course, repping that navy blue, silver, and star.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so we can always discuss with the popularity. I think the Cowboys, the Yankees, the Lakers, those are the popular teams of their respective sports, like the most repped team, whether you love them like us or you're just a bandwagon fan like, some people all over the world do. So, anyways, anything else maybe before I got everything caught up.
No, I'm ready.
Skeptical updated on, one last thing on Skeptical. I got to put them up to 17 gifted memberships on the leaderboard. I mean,
That's
look.
right.
That's one of the things we are celebrating.
I have a feeling Skeptical fans is going to be holding on to that record for a while.
Well,
so.
I mean, again, it resets after the month,
True.
But he does have it right now, and we're going to give him every month put that name up there on that board to rep the king of the gifting. So I mean, that is very special for us here, and it's a new feature. So anybody who's in the membership can do it. And anybody who sets it to accept memberships in the chat will get a membership. Sometimes you could put one out there. You could put 5, 20. There's a whole lot of them you could put out there. And, it would just start giving them away to everybody in the chat. So it could be a fun thing as well in the future. So we'll see how that goes. Now, let me get back on track. I'm sorry, guys. But Mike McCarthy's on the screen here. He's pissed. He's like, what are we talking about? Let's go. The Patriots. It's relative to the Patriots of what Mike McCarthy got. I talked about his fines, $150,000 in fines in 2 years. He's we've lost OTAs. So what am I talking about here? Patriots, we know they lost 2 OTAs, one this week, one next week. They canceled their practices. It was taken away from by the NFL. Why? Well, this was the letter to the Patriots here. Basically, this is a paraphrasing here, but the Patriots distributed a 4-hour schedule to the offensive players starting at 7:30 in the morning. A similar schedule was distributed to the defensive players, but that started at 9 a.m. The special teams workshops were set for 7:10 for the offense and 8:40 for the defense, which was posted outside the locker room. Oh, this has been documented. Well, the reason why, it's interesting though, right? The rules state that only 4 hours each day can come at the direction of the actual team during this phase 3 of the offseason program. So schedule was given to players and didn't have that notice of the workshops on them. Only a corkboard outside of each locker room did have that. But these violations were on May 1st, 2nd, and May 4th. You got to remember, do the mathematics here. 7:30 was the workshop, but there was a 20-minute different workshop for special teams on the offensive player side that would have made it 20 minutes longer. Defensively, you had a 9 o'clock start, 8:40, so that's 20 minutes. So they had to give up an extra 20 minutes of directed team duties, so to speak, from the top, from the front office or from the coaches. So that is the violation there. They lost 2 OTA days for that. I don't even think it was. You think Belichick was trying to squeeze in an extra 20 minutes there and got caught?
Honestly, it sounds like someone somewhere probably, made an executive decision somewhere. I'm just saying, like someone messed up somewhere and just kind of maybe
overlapped.
Did that just because I'm not sure if Belichick personally told them to do something like that. But at the same time, knowing Belichick, he probably was, pushing something along the lines of, man, we got to really put in the work this camp. I want to make sure we do this, and that. And like I said, probably some kind of a miscommunication along with someone trying to be maybe an eager beaver.
Probably I'm a little, if I decide to. If it gives us an extra 20 minutes for the offense and defense to give an extra 20 minutes to us, then let's roll it that way. Now, here's the thing: if they didn't have it posted, I think it wouldn't have been a violation. If they just verbally said it, it wasn't a directive given. That's the issue there. If they had just said, if you guys can make it at 8, 20 minutes early, go ahead and make it verbally. I don't know. I'm not really sure what those rules are, but the fact that it's provable this way is why the violation. The punishment was given by the NFL.
All right, so don't leave any evidence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Definitely, that was not a Belichick's issue there. That part, whoever left the evidence that's to blame. If you're thinking about someone who got caught, who's to blame for that? Another Patriots mishap. There you go. Now, go take a look at our thumbnail. Thumbnail here. I'll put up on the screen for you guys. But there's Micah Parsons, front and center in the yellow, sweatshirt there. And the boxing gloves. I'll explain the other people in the picture in a minute, but first and foremost, happy birthday to Micah Parsons.
Oh my God.
Plenty of cake for the Lion today. You know what they did for his birthday? This crew of guys, I'll explain all the guys here. He was at the T-Mac Elite training, which we've talked about in the past, and Micah Parsons, was him and everybody with him, which again, I'll go through those names in a minute, had to do burpees.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he turned 24.
It's a birthday, not a burpee.
24 years old, they had to do 24 of them. And I'm telling you, they all wish he was a lot younger. You watch the video, you'll be like, oh my goodness. Micah had to stop at like 18, 19, and he pushed him to do like 2 more. He was going to vomit. So they were all like struggling. But the point is, and here's the key, guys, it was posted with other guys in this picture, but the main guys I'm focusing on are these 4 guys in the boxing with the boxing gloves. And they were all at T-Mac Elite Training. He posted this. Micah Parsons brought in Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, left side of your screen. You see him right there, bottom left? That's Dan Quinn. The gloves on there, hanging with his defense off campus. Like, it's weird in a way, but I love this. And so Micah brought in Dan Quinn. He also brought in, you don't see him in this picture, Aden Dirty, yeah, the defensive line coach of the Dallas Cowboys. These guys were brought in to box each other, practice some boxing, and train with T-Mac Elite Training. So, again, guys, both these guys brought it. But who are the guys behind Micah right here? Well, over on the left side of the screen behind Micah, that is Chauncey Golston. Number 99, he'll be on that field on defense. You see on the other side of Micah's shoulder is, of course, Osa Odigizua. Yeah, they were also doing the burpees. Now, I didn't see Dan Quinn doing the burpees, but I did see all the players doing them. All 3 of the Cowboy players were doing them. Osa, Chauncey Golston, and Micah Parsons.
He knows better.
Yeah, he's old for that. But I will say, Aden Dirty was out there. He wasn't doing the burpees. I don't think. Or if he was doing them sloppily.
I just still can't believe that's the way that Micah chose to spend even 1 second of his birthday.
That's a lion for you guys. That's my point. They also had Christian Johnston out there. He's an internet guy. He was out there training with them as well. I'm just saying, I love the Micah mindset, and I love the fact that he's got Dan Quinn coming. Again, this is a combo thing here. This is like, I could see both guys. I can see, the great Micah Parsons saying, hey, coach, come on down, do this. It's going to be fun. It's good. It's good endurance. And I could also see Dan Quinn saying, let me get down there and box with these guys. Let me get in there and get closer with these guys, whatever it takes, right? That's the kind of coach Dan Quinn is. And I love this. Micah Parsons led defense and Dan Quinn led defense coaching, right? I love this combination. You cannot break this duo up. They both came to Dallas at the same time. This is a special connection. And this is I think Micah Parsons is the guy that's going to bring Dan Quinn to that, like this is his guy, going forward from his time with the Cowboys. It is none other than Micah Parsons, and it's going to be the DQ name stamped on that. It's not going to be, 3 other coaches coming into town and replacing. Maybe Joe Witt Jr. if it has to be. But it's still Dan Quinn, because Dan Quinn will be most probably the head coach at that point, right? So, just throwing it out there. What do you think about this? This boxing, this training, coaches, and the players.
First of all, it gives me the same energy as, like my dad's my best friend. Right? Like, just, a father and son enjoying some family bonding. Oh, man. But honestly, I really do love to see it. It is just showing how deep the relationship with Quinn and Micah goes. And not just that, but Quinn is a different type of coach. I know we joked a lot last year when we were missing some interior D linemen. We're like, hey, Quinn's out there so often, just helping these guys and coaching them on the field.
He was on the field with them.
Throw him out there, right? At this point, he's probably more ready to go than some of the guys we might pick up. So, honestly, Quinn definitely has his own way of coaching, and it seems like being very physical with his players, and I don't mean in like a physical way. I just mean like actively involving himself in what they're doing is part of his process. So him doing something like this with one of the most special players on our defense on his birthday, I'm not surprised that, DQ took time out of his day, to train with him. Out of all the things he wants to do, he wanted to train on his birthday.
B&B's for the birthday. B&B's, birthdays, burpees, and boxing. That's what Micah and Dan Quinn did on today, for Micah's birthday. So again, guys, I thought it was pretty special. I thought it was pretty cool. Any comments in the chat about this or other things related to this? New people in the house?
Let me see. Seabass said they're called burpees for a reason.
Micah can attest to that. I mean, we've all, I'm sure, done them. But I'm just saying, like 24, even for the best athletes, a rough one. I mean, at least I saw Chauncey Golston. He slowed down and started just like walking it like up, and he didn't jump at all. And when you come back off the ground, Osa actually I think did the best. Actually,
I'm tapping out. Maybe next time. Right? Real quick, I know Q Ball said MCF soon. Eagle fans are going to start converting to the Cowboys.
I mean, if they're true Cowboy fans, then I guess it's okay. They always have that Eagle undertone to them. No, I don't like that.
So in retro, Scotty, man, that is really, really tough. Fingers crossed that things hopefully take a turn for the better there with your dad, and that he's able to get the help that he needs. So, but Big DZ83 also saying, this is the bowl or bust year. Quinn is putting it all behind him. And by him I do mean Micah. So love to see the effort being put in by our. I mean, honestly, it feels like the season almost didn't end for Micah, in a way, right? Like that same kind of intensity. It really is year round for him.
Yeah, it fits the Dan Quinn mold, I think, and they fit each other. You know what I mean? Both mindsets fit each other is the key there. And look, I will say one last thing about this. With Micah doing his hard work, look, he's got listen. He had Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks the other day with him, right? Boxing training. Now he's got Chauncey Golston and Oso Digizua. He's had other guys he's brought in with him. Deuce Vaughn, the rookie. I'm just saying he's going from rookies to the veterans to whoever the hell, don't matter, and coaches. That's the Micah connection there. So think about that. How important Micah is to the star on this team. Major, and not just for now, but for the future. If we keep him, at the top-notch elite level that he is, you can't. If you break him down like you did with Zeke and you overuse him without proper weight gain or muscle gain, then we're gonna not have a dominant guy for more than 4 or 5 years at most. That's what happens, and you break guys down. So just think of it like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So, and yes, guys, I see the excitement.
So let's get to it.
In the D-Hop discussion here.
Perfect
Gotham
segue.
Guy, what's up? Hello and hi.
Hey, in the house, Gotham Guy. Much love. So, by the way, just so everyone knows, baby, we got to remind everyone. I know people have been in and out, but hitting that like, of course, helps the channel. Yep. Subscribing if you haven't yet helps the channell.
Make sure to hit that notification bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. And, guys, memberships are back, baby. Don't call it a comeback, but yes, go ahead, check them out. We have, the navy blue, silver star, a brand new level.
Yeah, and also remember that not just do we have the membership, but we also have not just these 4 ways of dropping the love, but the super chats are back. Believe it or not, guys, it's back. So had them gone for about 3 months, but they're back since the beginning, more or less the beginning of the month. And you guys have been, supporting through here, through YouTube, whatever means. It's been fantastic. So thank you guys, and I appreciate you guys' love and support through the drops of knowledge in the chat, drops of love from above, and just your input about our Dallas Cowboys on the nightly. Thank you guys. So there's a little commercial break. Now, let's get to the part everyone's really talking about here, which, again, I know we talked about the boxing and Micah Parsons. I thought that was the most important thing for our Dallas Cowboys. You see, that's what I care about. Our Dallas Cowboys, first and foremost, over the D-Hop situation. Now, I know it is, I'll break it down in a minute here, but I do want to at least put him up in the what a lot of people want to see for the Cowboys is him wearing a Cowboys uniform. There's DeAndre Hopkins. Now, we talked about the whole offseason, the trade possibilities. The Cardinals wanted to trade, he wanted to be traded. I don't know. We wanted to break paths. The Cardinals today, instead of going for a trade, even a 6th round pick for DeAndre Hopkins, they announced the official complete release of DeAndre Hopkins from the Arizona Cardinals team, which means that you don't need to wait and see his name on some kind of, like an allowance from the Cardinals to discuss a deal with him or discuss a trade with him. You don't have to worry about that now. He's now free for all now.
Anyone can talk to him and do whatever.
Anyone, and I'm talking from the DeAndre Hopkins side, any team can now begin negotiating with DeAndre Hopkins and his agent. So that has been the hope. You gotta remember, guys, we know this for some time. That was DeAndre Hopkins' kind of push since the beginning of this offseason, from the start, more or less. This is what he's been hoping for some time. The Cardinals did have some trade talks. They had trade talks for months with teams. Ultimately, though, they're asking for too much. There was no deal made. And for some reason, no one wants to make a deal now, I guess. I don't know, but he's a free agent. They just released him straight out. What does this mean about money? first and foremost, I just want to let you know the Cardinals, this is not a post-June 1st cut. They're taking the whole hit now. They're taking the entire $22.6 million cap hit.
I have to admit, I wonder what drove them to doing that in particular.
Well, listen, he's been talking all offseason about wanting to leave the Arizona Cardinals, and he didn't actually go out and say, I want to leave the Cardinals, but he's been all over. He's been in Dallas, working out with Des Bryant.
He obviously heavily implied it.
He's been on a lot of podcasts and shows that he's talked about where he'd like to play. I mean, so the Cardinals, I guess, just had enough and said they're going to break it. Again, not even a fucking 6th-round pick for this guy. Someone would have traded for a 6th-round pick for him, but they didn't want his contract. The point here is not post June 1st, so they're not splitting that 22.6 between 2 years. It's a full 22.6 gone. Hit this year for the Cardinals. But that means you can sign him for whatever, like Zeke, right?
Yeah.
Zeke's hit. We had to eat some of that money. But anybody who signs him for wherever they signed him for. So a lot of people talking about DeAndre Hopkins and Big D, right? Seems unlikely to me. I'll discuss more. But here, listen to some of these things, baby. Initial kind of odds to land DeAndre Hopkins, according to BetOnline AG, number 1 team, 2-1 odds, the Dallas Cowboys. 4-1 odds, the Kansas City Chiefs. 5-1 odds, the New England Patriots. 6-1 odds, the Buffalo Bills. 7-1 odds for the Philadelphia Eagles. Those are the 5 teams. Now, I will say this. Later on in the day, Bovada, who is another odds-making place there, they have odds for the next DeAndre Hopkins, where he's going to land.
Okay.
These numbers, I think, are a little more realistic. The Bills at 110-1. Patriots 300-1 with the Chiefs, also 300-1. The Carolina Panthers 550-1 odds. Same thing as the Bears, 550-1 odds. And the Lions 750-1 odds. So
yeah, I know that obviously the Cowboys and D-Hop were heavily associated there for a time, but I have to agree with the handful of people in the chat and also people outside the chat saying D-Hop is just going to be a little too expensive for whatever Dallas would be willing to offer him or whatever cheap price he might be willing to go down to. It's still going to be too much for what we're looking for.
And actually, hit up a couple comments. I'm going to actually... Yeah, I should have done this at the beginning and just started the poll, but...
No, it's all good. Skeptical fan, much love. He said Hopkins won't be happy or wouldn't be happy in Dallas. So, and honestly, I kind of see it, but realistically speaking, I think he'd be a great fit, and I would love to have him on the team for the right price. I think that's where it starts getting into, how worth it is D-Hop. So, but I to me, there's no denying that he would be a fantastic addition to our offense and a big help to Dak and the rest of the guys on the receiving team. So,
well, it's up now. If you guys see it on your screen, you can vote now on what you think on this. But
So yeah,
I'm gonna wait for the end.
30, so he is on the younger side of veteranship, so to speak, in the sense that we know that we would still have a handful of years with him, a solid handful of years with him. Is what I'm saying. I think you could still reasonably expect.
We're thinking long term here. I mean, long term is like 3 years.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you wanted to keep him for as long as possible or do something like that, it's not out of the realm of possibility. If that's what you're looking to do.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm across the. I'll give you my answer on this in a minute here. My thought on this, but no way for this situation. Let me first say this. Let me start off with, we just talked about the odds out there, just general odds. One place says the Cowboys are number 1. One didn't even have the Cowboys listed. The point is, things have changed since last time we visited the DeAndre Hopkins situation. We have 3 receivers now, not 2 or 1.5, right? So, look, the thing is this. On the recent appearance, and we discussed this right here in My Cowboys Family the other night, on the I Am Athlete podcast, DeAndre Hopkins, now a free agent, of course, by the time Cardinal receiver, DeAndre Hopkins listed the 5 quarterbacks he'd most like to catch passes from. And he said the Bills, Josh Allen, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, and the Chargers, Kellen Moore, the Chargers, Justin Herbert. So those are the only 5 kind of his top 5, I guess I'll say. Top 5 quarterbacks he would want to catch passes from. And what he's looking for the next team is just outside of those 5 guys. Let's use the Dallas Cowboys as an example because some people really want him here. What is he looking for? He's looking for a quarterback. Even if it's not one of these 5, he's looking for a quarterback that loves the game of football and brings everyone on board with him. I'll put Dak. I mean, maybe Dak's not one of his top 5, but Dak is that. He wants to be on a team, he said, with a, quote, great defense. He said, quote, defense wins championships, got to have a great D-line. Well, we have one of the best.
We have that in spades.
I mean, so does the Niners, so do the Eagles, but so do the Cowboys. And then he also said, I want a place that has stable management.
A little too stable, if you get what I mean, but sure.
I mean, look, if when you're talking about, stable, the last thing that's stable about the Cowboys is the clown show. So, but the money, when they love you, they pay you and they overpay you and they pay you too long down in your contract, keep you way too long. So when they love you, the clown show works for you. When they don't like you, they will try to lowball you. So that's what the clown show does. So again, stable management though. Let's talk about it. Stable management. He said, DeAndre Hopkins said he's been with teams in his career that have had, I think, the Texans and the Cardinals, right? 4 GMs in his career, he said. 4 different general managers. Well, guess what? In Dallas, you don't got to worry about that. You got your general managers set for life. Set for life. You know what I'm saying? So, general managers, he says he just doesn't want to he already has 4 in his career. I guess 4 in what? 4 in 8 years? He just wants one general managing core thought mindset. And guess what? You got those zombies right here. They got the clown show. So all I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to even hype it up. I'm just saying all his criteria fits at the bare minimum the Dallas Cowboys as one of the teams, right? So all this fits. But I also want to put in here, add to the fact, where was DeAndre Hopkins most of this offseason? Working out in Dallas. Almost the entire offseason. I know what he said on this podcast. We all kind of heard it or seen it. We talked about it here in a couple, last couple of days. But people also, there's a lot of people that know what DeAndre Hopkins said personally to people in Dallas, like about wanting to play there.
Yeah.
And it's been all positive from him in March locally. People know in Dallas that he wants to play in Dallas. Now, the Cowboys, I believe, because of Jerry Jones and the way he wants to get the big name out there, he would sign DeAndre Hopkins, but it has to be at the right price. Is it something the Cowboys should at least explore? Of course. You think about it for a quick second. And then reality hits, right? But look, he wasn't working out with Des Bryant almost the entire time. And people have been saying out here in the local media, saying, like people like Clarence Hill said, ask Des Bryant. He will tell you Hopkins would be interested in the Cowboys. And Des Bryant retweeted that, by the way, with eyeballs, 2 little eyeballs watching. Because he's right. That's what Des Bryant would say, that he knows DeAndre Hopkins wants to play in Dallas. He would have no problem playing in Dallas. And Hellman and others have said the same thing about local people knowing that he was all in on the Cowboys.
There is an interest, at least for D-Hop, in being open to playing for us. Yeah,
so from D-Hop's side, he would play in Dallas. But that's the thing now. Okay, again, no matter what Hopkins said about playing for these other 5 guys, we know he'd be interested in playing for the Cowboys. The problem... And here's the fact. Here's the reality segment of MCF. We talked about all these other nice little fluffy little possibilities for great receivers. Oh, great stuff, right? And see, some people talk out there saying injuries. Of course, injuries happen, but you're not going to pay a guy $17 million because in case of injuries, right? So look, all I'm trying to say is this. The problem is, will Dallas be willing to outbid? See, trading? Maybe. But outbidding the other wide receiver needy teams that have much more cap space to throw away.
Not a snowball's chance in hell.
That's why I don't think the Cowboys should go into a battle for DeAndre Hopkins in a money battle. Such a fuck that. So no, hell no. Do not blow it this way. And it's nothing against DeAndre Hopkins. It's just not the right move. You made the move on Michael Gallup. This is the unfortunate ending of this. You don't get a chance for DeAndre Hopkins because, well, you could say you're not going to pay Gallup $13 million a year to be on the bench. It's not so that sense. The Joneses will never go that route. And again, if we did not have Brandon Cooks, that's why you see the initial kind of thought. Okay, the Cowboys are one of the favorite teams because that's what it was in March. We didn't have Brandon Cooks yet.
Things have changed since then.
Yeah, beginning of March we didn't have Brandon Cooks. Well, we have Brandon Cooks at the end of March, and guess what? We don't need a 4th guy on this team. Maybe we're going to pay over $10 million in the double digits, maybe $15 million or more a year. It's stupid. It's not going to happen. Listen, the Cowboys are in a situation where our top 3 receivers right now, CeeDee Lamb, who's, by the way, is we need to pay him. Don't we need to pay CeeDee Lamb? I mean, we're going to give money to him, right? Brandon Cooks, we're absorbing the rest of his contract. Not bad, but we got him for 2 years. And Michael Gallup, who we have at least this year. We got him until next year too, but we can get out of the contract. These guys, all three guys, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup, you know what they don't do? They don't play special teams. A fourth receiver got to play special teams. And I know it's not a make or break, but then you're carrying dead weight in some ways. Then you really got a useless roster spot if no one gets hurt. I mean, if no one gets hurt, wasted when you don't want anybody having to get hurt, right? So it doesn't make any sense to go for 4 receivers. You're going to overspend down. You still got to pay. You're paying $13 million for Gallup a year. You have to pay double digits for this guy for DeAndre Hopkins. Then you're going to be paying double digits for Brandon Cooks or close to that, and then of course CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, double digits for him when you pay him his new contract. So, what are we talking about? 4 double-digit receivers, and double-digit money-wise? Hell no, you're not doing that. That's not the way to go here. So again, these are 3 starters do not contribute on special teams. Neither does DeAndre Hopkins. Stop for a second because we got the man Choctaw Montana dropping his message. What is the man saying there, Mr. 808?
Much love, Montana. Representing, he said, "Can we have a section that says, I wouldn't mind, but if they don't, I wouldn't mind." Back in the membership, though, and yeah, Montana, I actually dropped a gifted membership drop here, and you were the lucky winner the other day. So
okay, when a membership, like right now, Montana could, if he dropped the gifted membership, somebody would have that. He would drop the love, but also would be gifting a membership to somebody in the chat. That's how you got yours from the wife. We just were messing around, having a fun trial with that. 'Cause that's new, the gifting memberships. But I know Mr. Montana 808 was in the star level, so we're building that back up. You can always move up on that level from Navy Blue to Silver or Star, or the over everything level, which gives you a whole, again, this is for anybody, but a whole show. You just chill with us here. We talk about the news, and on a day you guys can do it, and then we would bring you on so you can kind of give your 2 cents right here on every topic we talk about and more. So that's going to be a fun thing we're going to do. We'll see whenever it happens. It might be once or twice a month, depending on how many people end up joining that. But we got all the different levels. Check it out, Mr. Montana 808, the man, repping that star for everything. Appreciate you. Back in the membership. And, we're building that back up, right? After just kicking it off again at the beginning of this month. So
yeah, and I think I'm definitely on the Montana mindset, but price definitely has a big part to play in that,
Yeah. And again, I understand the want for him. To me, he would bring us, give us a kind of a different kind of receiver we maybe don't have yet. But the way that Gallup is coming around, we're hoping, right? We're crossing our fingers. That's the key there. I think Brandon Cook's going to do his job like we know he's going to do. CeeDee Lamb is going to do his thing as the receiver number 1. It's more about the Gallup question. I believe that he's going to be better just because we have Brandon Cooks on that field. I mean, that's going to make a huge difference for Gallup, and on top of him being another year ahead of that surgery, right? So those 2 basic things. I know the Cowboys trying to get him to the slot and outside. That's going to help too. But all these things, if you add that in there, that's 3 things. Gallup is definitely trending back up, is my point. So DeAndre Hopkins, although great, it's another money situation that, like you said, baby, now we got 4 receivers, and I'd say, I don't know if I want to spend over $10 million on 4 receivers that don't play special teams. It won't contribute if they're not in the game. We're going to run 4 receiver sets. So I like DeAndre Hopkins. I actually would have loved them back in March when we could have maybe got him then. But now we got Brandon Cooks, and I think it's the ship has sailed kind of deal. You know what I mean?
I agree. So and Hoodlum saying D-Hop not about to sign for big money. Watch, he'll sign with KC for like $6 million.
And that would be a killer. That would be $6 million would be great to sign him. I would say a number 4 for $6 million of those qualities, that'd be great. But then you're still missing special teams. You can eat the special teams at that point.
I was just about to say, I'm like, I'm willing to take the L on that one there. But, House Nelson also pointing out something, pretty much every single one of those teams you mentioned, whether he comes to us, which is very unlikely, or he goes somewhere else, which is much more likely, we're probably going to have to get through D-Hop's new team because, 4 out of the 5 teams you mentioned are all teams that we play this year, right?
The
Bills,
the
Eagles, Jets, the Eagles, the Chargers, heck, even the Lions too, right?
Yeah,
we play the Lions at the end of the year. So, I guess see you later, D-Hop.
Oh, right? Well, hold on. We got a gifting going on here. The man Jason Renfro gifting a membership, and it was given to Mr. Lost in Translation, if I'm not mistaken.
Woo! Thank
Much
you so
love.
much, Jason Renfro. And yes, Lost in Translation is the lucky winner there of that membership.
I'm pretty sure after tonight's stream, we build in every time there's a new member. After a certain number of new memberships get on, we hit another level. Let's say 35 memberships. And then we get another emoji. They keep adding different perks in all the levels. The more members we get, right? So awesome. I'll probably be adding another emoji or two here after tonight or tomorrow night. So appreciate that, Jason Renfro, with that 5 on it, and congrats to Lost in Translation for the big win there. Enjoy the emojis and that navy blue crew.
That's right. Much love. Again, thank you, Jason. Appreciate that. Much love.
Yeah.
And again, Lost in Translation, drop them if you got them. So, right, Thomas Garrett saying $6 million. I'm on the phone right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're going 10, no, forget about it. But if you're getting $6 million with incentives, Gallup might be injured. He might get hurt. He might not have any of these guys could get injured. And you're set with DeAndre Hopkins sitting there waiting. But again, for $6 million, you know why? When he leaves the Cowboys in a 1-year deal, right? We're hoping it's a 1-year deal. Yeah. After a year, guess what happens to our value with his leaving us?
We get a comp pick,
we get
right?
we would
in that scenario.
If he signed for $10 million somewhere else, or $12 million somewhere else after us, that'd be a comp pick in the maybe 5th round or 4th round. We got players there, right? So. Just another thing that I know the Joneses like about getting a high-profile player, but you have to use him if you're going to let him go. And, after a year, whatever it is, you get to use the actual player to get value for him.
Enough to make a team want to pay something like, let's say, $10 million for him.
Incredible McGovern, $8 million a year. So hey, we'll take that. We'll take whatever comp comes down for that. So, anyways, any other thoughts on DeAndre Hopkins as far as in the chat? I know we kind of voiced our thoughts on this. We kind of
touched on most of them for now.
And I think that this is what I think that, when we start looking at some reasons why you're not going to have, DeAndre Hopkins on this team as a Cowboy, why is that? Well, one of the first things that come to mind for me is this guy, Brandon Cooks, number 3. Brandon Cooks, guys, he was not surprised he ended up in Dallas after publicly expressing desire not to stay with the Texans. And he was asked about, he was vocal about wanting to leave Houston, right? And was he surprised about how things turned out? But I just want to say one thing real quick. DeAndre Hopkins, this is the reason why you see kind of boxing him out. That's why we're not going after DeAndre Hopkins. Because DeAndre Hopkins is being boxed out by Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, like I said, we obviously went in a different direction. So, but like you said, Cooks specifically was asked, since you were pretty out there in your desire to want to leave Houston, have things turned out well for you? Has it gone well since then? Brandon Cook said that no, he's not surprised at all that it went as good for him. I mean, my faith is in my foundation. And at the end of the day, you go through things for a reason. But I always kept hope and understood that there was a plan, and I just had to trust God for that plan. And it turned out to be this. So I'm definitely happy about it.
I know that he also kind of was asked about this McCarthy system coming to a new team, the scheme.
Yeah, and Cook said, obviously I'm still learning, but as you know, McCarthy has been a part of a lot of explosive offenses everywhere he's been. That's what you feel. He wants to be explosive and dynamic with all of his players, and that's what I'm still learning.
Well, Brandon Cooks, he is a veteran.
I like those words, though, explosive and dynamic. I want to have those words define our offense this season.
It'd be nice because, again, we heard about McCarthy's, West Coast flavor finally going to be, we haven't seen it in the last 3 years here in Dallas. It's been Kellen Moore's bland, unflavored, unseasoned food. But now we're going to get a little better flavoring from Mike McCarthy here. He had Super Bowl flavoring in Green Bay. That's the kind of flavoring we're hoping he can at least give us on our offensive side here. And Brandon Cooks fits McCarthy's plan well. I love to hear Brandon Cooks not come in and say, "Yeah, I got this down. He's learning it and he's gonna absorb it. He's not just gonna sit there and just pick up the book and the playbook and I got this. He's gonna give his heart and soul, and that's what a veteran gives you. And that's why I love what he has said there. Brandon Cooks. We talked about DeAndre Hopkins. Let's talk about Brandon Cooks. and what he's going to do for this team. But that's the reality. We had Brandon Cooks, and a very small percentage that I think we would go after DeAndre Hopkins. So if he's $6 million, somebody else is signing him. I guarantee you they're going to give him better incentives. They're going to give him more base. The Cowboys will probably just wither away at that point. But Brandon Cooks is the guy we're talking about. And he's on this team. He's going to add that dimension, dynamic. And a lot of things you hear on offense and defense is that speed, that quickness, the flow of the game. He's been saying that too. So as other players have said that as well. But, when it comes to the receivers, one of the guys, yesterday, I want to go back. Actually, I'll put up on the screen here, and you'll see some of these pictures here. I do want to kind of go over. I mean, I went over it yesterday, but I want to kind of mention again the photos that we saw from day 2, right here behind Brandon Cooks, and the thing that stands out for me in a certain part of this video, you'll see it, and I'll kind of say this. I'll start like this by saying Deuce Vaughn. Right, we saw him out there. He was playing the running back spot. He was, number 42, trying to earn his star. You'll see him out there in this little picture. You'll see him, in the video here. You'll see Deuce Vaughn pop up on the screen. But it's more about the guy that I thought he was going to push off this team, and that's Kevontae Turpin. Kevontae Turpin, guys, he was the only guy returning punts and kickoffs so far. So Deuce Vaughn. Oops, let me get that out of the way. Not Brandon Cooks. Everything is going really slow on my computer right now. So if there's an issue, guys, I apologize.
Yeah, the PC said, it's the weekend. I'm taking a break.
Bad timing for that.
Drinking a margarita.
That's what we'll be doing tomorrow.
So,
but it might take a minute for me to fix this. So
it's all good. But let me go ahead and hit up the chat real quick while you go ahead and do that behind the scenes here. Let's say Williams, what's up? House Nelson said D-Hop is probably pissed his attempt to leverage that Cowboys' interest in him failed publicly when we got Cooks, who replaced him in Houston.
That's a great point there. Yeah, that's a great kind of...
I mean, it's a very public way of basically saying thanks but no thanks, and not just that, but that you are not worth it.
There's Deuce on the field.
Very basic sense.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's not even worth it. Just like there's other options we can still go after, and the Cowboys went other ways.
Yeah, well, that's basically what it means by better options. Just you are not necessarily worth it.
Now, speaking of options, Turpin, you see him here getting the kickoffs, right, and the punts. He's fielding them. He spoke about that today, but here you're seeing him on offense. Number 9, catching the ball, running routes. Baby, now there's Tolbert. But let's go back to Turpin. What did he say, baby? Because... he was saying that, right now he was kind of like exhausted from the XFL, USFL, whatever, all the leagues he's been in.
Playing for a very long time. But Turpin said it. I didn't know until I got back to OTAs. I really feel like I'm more energized right now. Not being tired, not being sleepy. That's where I feel right now. I feel really good. I feel rested going into year 2. I feel like my body is back up to par. I'm not hurting, and I'm not tired. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Me and McCarthy talked about it during our exit forum, and he told me to get my rest because this year they're going to try to find plays and ways to get me some touches on offense. So that's what I did. I just have to stay patient, just trying to do my job and make sure that the coaches see me as a playmaker. To be real, I don't really care about the kickoff. They kick it to me back there. I'm not fair catching anything. You got to deal with me because that's where I make my money. So you've got to deal with me. If you kick it to me, I'm not fair catching anything. Only on punt return will you catch me fair catching. That's my plan this year. They had the same rule in college. It didn't affect me then, so why would it affect me now? That's where I'm at right now. I'm just trying to get my money.
So that ending comment there about the money, of course everyone's going to say, oh, look, he's another player out for their money. Guys, I mean, everyone's out for their money, right? They get paid.
I think by trying to get my money, I think he just means that
that's where his money lays.
Trying to put in the work to try to get the big, splashy type of plays that get guys paid.
So, and here's my thing.
What? In this particular case, I don't mind it.
Here's the thing I'm going to say, though, about Turpin. First I heard this, I'm like, wait, okay, so he's got to listen to the coach. He's got to listen to John Fossil. John Fossil's not going to just be like, yeah, take everything back. Every time, run it back. I mean, that's obviously we know Turpin's not going to be running it back every time. So, again, Turpin can say what he wants. Fossil will be like, hell no. But here's the key, though. It's about weighing the kickoffs, right? So he kind of made a comment about he's taking back every kickoff now. I'm assuming either he's just talking crap or Fossil is kind of saying, listen, I'd rather take a chance with you coming out, taking it out every kickoff. than taking a knee and taking it to 25. That rule hasn't changed. He's not going to. No one is going to fair catch a kickoff. I've said this before. So, it's just about, if it goes out of the end zone, you can't return it. And we know that has happened a lot last year for all the kick returners and all the kickoffs. They're trying to slow down injuries, so it stops the big play. Unfortunately for Turpin, those big money plays he's talking about are going to be very, very rare for everyone that plays that position. So he's trying to make his money there. That's going to be tough. Now, Fossil, listen.
You have to make every single one of them count then.
Obviously, when Turpin put in context what he said, he's not going to return a punt that is in the air, for 10 minutes, and then they're punting from the middle of the field, from midfield, and then Turpin has to fair catch it on the 2, and it gets to the 25. Of course, there'll be guys all around them. There's no chance to run it back. Of course, he's going to fair catch it. That was Turpin's point. Like, I'm going to fair catch those.
And I also understand some of the feelings in the chat. I do think that Turpin has to earn his spot on the team just like everyone else, in the sense that, I don't necessarily want a one-trick pony, and I think that now that we have a few more options, he does kind of have to produce a little bit more offensively. And I think in order to fully fit in on this team, and it's nice to hear that McCarthy has plans to kind of move him in that direction.
And it's about Schottenheimer, it's about McCarthy getting Turpin on the field, getting him 15 snaps a game on offense, and making him a productive piece of the offense, not just a one-trick kickoff punt return guy who has to fair catch or the ball goes out of bounds on kickoffs. You never see him.
I also am not surprised that as the season went on, we saw his performance get a little bit more sloppy, just because he kind of said it. He's like, man, I kind of reached the end of my rope. I was tired. I was sleepy. I didn't have the same energy level. So I do fully believe that we're going to see less of those kind of, more unfortunate mistakes that we saw towards the second half of the season from Turpin, which, like House Nelson said, soured all of us, I think, a tiny bit on him, just a little bit, right? Marissa, what's up? Much love to you.
Hey, hello, Marissa in the house.
Love to you in your direction as well. Yes. So, Big DZ, again, I'm not going to close the door on Ezekiel Elliott completely, but I do think that, I'm just saying that I think that as more time goes on, things get a little tricky.
I think you got to remember with Zeke, it's just a simple thing. It's about the usage of Zeke. Zeke would be used as a short yardage guy. Zeke's not going to be back as a full-time guy if he comes back. But this would be only like the Cowboys aren't even showing any interest really in his way. He's kind of like the last-ditch effort. We'll give him like the base minimum. Sounds like that's more of a with some incentive opportunities, because if something happens to Pollard, now Zeke's our starter, so he can make a little bit more money that way. But outside of that, that's the last ditch effort for Zeke to be signed by the Cowboys. I think it's only a last chance for Zeke to, rather than go somewhere for veteran minimum, and the Cowboys going to sign him for veteran minimum, he'd go to Dallas. He's got a place, he's got a life there, so he's back with his team. Right? So listen, I'm not the biggest fan about that. I do also think that if the Cowboys are looking for a short yardage guy, Lipke, you got Ronald Jones, Rojo, you got a lot of options here. So we'll see how that works out. And even Princeton Fant, he's a short yardage guy, an undrafted tight end from Tennessee. I'm just saying, these guys can be guys that are options. If nothing's really showing well for short yardage, goal line, that's maybe when you call Zeke in if he hasn't got a team yet. And we're talking about, into the training camp side of things. So we'll have to wait and see. Zeke, he's used to missing training camp. Just saying. So, anyways, moving on here, baby. I don't know any other shout-outs, but appreciate everybody here hitting that like, subscribing, notification bell, sharing. Make sure you share it out, guys, and get more people to the family, subbing up, growing the channel. Almost at 22,000. We've been there for a while because of the YouTube crap, but now we are heading towards that direction again. So appreciate everybody joining the family, the new and the OGs.
Yes.
So I will say, speak on another position on our team, which is on the offensive side, the offensive line, which is, of course, to me, one of our biggest issues right now, especially depth-wise, without a question. So when I look at the offensive line, I want to speak on number 73 here. Second year now, right? Last year's rookie, great job from him, first round pick. But Tyler Smith continues to be on the field, as far as what they're showing us, the Cowboys' first team left tackle.
And I really hope that it stays that way.
The problem is you got Terrence Steele not in there right now, number 78. We talked about, he's at least looking great on his rehab, but he's not back. We hope he's back in time for the first game. And you got old Tyron Smith, 77, who's great again, I say great. Like, he's pretty I think he's great still, even at the left tackle spot. The problem that's not great is injury concerns. Every year he's losing 6, 7, 8 games. So we can't rely on him, even though he's a future Hall of Famer. Now, Tyler Smith was asked as our first team left tackle, and what is his thoughts on his career right now? He said, quote, "I definitely think I had some success last year, but the sky's the limit. I'm still trying to get better. I'm trying to improve every day. We're only getting started. It's only year 2. And I agree. I can't wait to see what 73 is ready to do in 2023. Now, there's the offensive line. Quick dip in there. Now, we're finishing up the offense here, baby. And we got a couple defensive players. But the last guy in offense is the big man on campus. Rain, Dakota Prescott.
Woo.
You know him. Number 4, baby. You're wearing his shirt right there. Our cartoon shirt there. So, I know he said some things about practice. And I want to know. I know we talked about it yesterday. Some of the language changed from McCarthy. But I want to know about practice, about the speed of things going on, some more about the scheme from Dak's perspective. So hit me with your best shot. Let me know.
Yeah, so as far as the things kind of being a little bit slower, since they're basically doing like jog through and walk through practices, Prescott actually said it's tough. That's just what we're in now, right? As far as the collective bargaining agreements and all that, more jog throughs, walk throughs. We've got to make the most of it, though. I think that's where it comes in, individual, pushing myself, making sure that the drill work I'm doing, I'm not taking it for granted. I'm doing it with a purpose. I'm doing it with the right intentions. And then just when you're out there on 11 on 11, understanding that we can't be physically full speed, but my mind can. So to make sure that whether I'm checking it down or not, I'm just going through everything and making the most of the practice regardless of the speed.
Remember, it's not really feeling real, obviously. Not that it would, but it's not feeling real because they have to. Everything is basically a walkthrough.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, if I'm
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying if I'm taking it right. Dak basically is just saying that, obviously everything.
He's going all out.
Well, no, just that he mentally is obviously approaching this just like he would if they were going full speed, just because he basically believes in the philosophy of you play the way you practice. Mm-hmm. So he wants to practice just like it's the real thing, even if it's not.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that also it's hard, though, when you have to slow it down than what you're used to at this point, right? At this point, you're ready to kind of put that installation on the field and see it. And you're not seeing it right now because you can't really do the full 11 on 11s that you really want to do. You can't get as physical as you really want to. But look, no injuries. I guess it's the best thing about this thing. Obviously, number one, the best thing about it. But go ahead, maybe continue.
Yeah, so,
I know you spoke more about McCarthy's West Coast offense. That's going to kind of limit the number of reads that Dak will have to make. That should make a lot of Cowboy fans happy. Those Cowboy fans that hate Dak and think he can't read the field, which is false. But maybe he's not the best, field general out there reading the field. But he's not far from the worst. He's done a great job in a lot of situations. But the West Coast offense limits the number of reads he has on a given play. So what does he feel about that?
Said guys being to their spot faster, cleaner, which allows them, when that play is not there, to go into scrambling and create a play. That just allows that when the first read and the second read aren't there for everybody to be on the same page for that scramble drill.
That's important. Scramble drills. That means that it sounds like after the first and second read, it's about Dak's legs. And I'm not saying this like the way that Kellen Moore has said this in the past. It sounds like after the first and second read, it's going to be about Dak maybe rolling out and creating. That's something that we talked about here. Go back to our first. We still have all of our first streams up. Go back to our first streams that first year here in MyCowboys. I've said you got to scramble them out, roll them out. Sometimes you got to plan it that way. Sometimes you got to have him break out that way. And I'm not saying run the ball. I'm saying use his legs to the mobility to move around, the fear that the defense will have about Dak's ability to maybe run for 4, 5, 8, 10 yards and a first down. Mm-hmm. That's going to be more than enough. That's going to be more than enough I think for the Cowboys to be able to be very high, a high-paced team and be able to move the ball in offense. This was 6 years ago. I said this right on this channel. I think right now the Cowboys
finally coming to fruition.
Well,
hopefully.
It sounds like the West Coast offense. It sounds like what Dak is saying is that first read, second read, everyone on the same page. If it takes 2 seconds, it takes 2 seconds, and the offensive lineman, the receivers, the tight end, whoever, they know the ball hasn't been caught yet. They know Dak's rolling out scramble drill. Everyone's on the same page to where they're going to be at on the scramble, to where you're going to be at. If the play, quote unquote, breaks down, they kind of seem to have a plan B almost on every play, and I like that. I like that mindset.
Dak said it just in the first couple days. Guys are flying off the ball, and I think that's the biggest difference. The more that we can get that, the better we're going to be. That
all is going to go into what McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer are going to come up to work with, again, with Dak Prescott, Scott Tolzien. That's our quarterback coach, in case you're wondering. But it's all about this installation of McCarthy's offense. Yes, Schottenheimer's the OC, but he's just helping create the plays a little bit with McCarthy. McCarthy's calling the plays. This is McCarthy's plays, even though the playbook is similar to what Kellen Moore did 65% of the time of this playbook. The language is going to be similar. You're going to have a 35% change from McCarthy's style of things. So
yeah, and Dak added in there. As far as the installation, obviously there's some ads and some things taken out. I think you just get the overall feel that maybe the game is going to be called a little different. I can't give away too much, but there are some changes. It's not like we're going to throw away our playbook and try to start over or anything like that.
There you go. So again,
honestly,
changes.
It makes sense because something that I have still held on to is that McCarthy was, in the beginning, a fan of some of the things that Kellen Moore was doing. So, and the fact that we're not completely getting rid of the playbook, I think, backs that up. Not absolutely every single thing that Kellen Moore did sucked. It sounds like a lot of it was in the way that he put it together.
Well, I'll say it like this, baby. Again, I never. I don't know who said that. Who said that everything Kellen Moore did ever sucked? I mean, I didn't say that. I just think that a lot of things.
I never said you did.
No. I think that people have to understand that even though Kellen Moore has some nice things and some nice stuff going on the field, the things that would never change, outside of his inability to change in the middle of a game, right, was the lack of utilizing it. Again, I think you're talking about this playbook. I think you're over kind of giving Kellen Moore the credit here. This is about Dak's language. It's not about Kellen Moore. It's about Dak being familiar with the playbook, not about Kellen Moore's plays that McCarthy's using. You know what I mean? They're going to tweak maybe every single play. You know what I'm trying to say? They might tweak every play. Some basic concepts or things, that might stay the same, but they're going to tweak plays. Maybe we don't know where that percentage of changes are coming on these plays. Also, another thing I want to say, but when you look at the route concept situation, when you have receivers having the receiver option routes, that is something Mike McCarthy was fully against. So when Kellen Moore would call plays, and not to call plays, but everything based on his receiving, trio or the receiving core out there on the field, when they were running routes, they had to figure out where the defender was going to be and then go accordingly. They were deciding the play. And that's where we saw mistakes by CeeDee Lamb and others. That's something that Mike McCarthy never used in his life. And he said it last year, baby, not a fan. So those are the things I think you got to remember that always bothered McCarthy from day one. From day one,
yeah.
Those route options was something he never liked, but he let Kellen Moore do it. Why? And I said it before, and I'll say it again, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones wanted, baby, this is Jerry Jones. Now Kellen Moore's gone. Now McCarthy can finally do what he wanted to do day one.
Yeah.
That's all. So I like the way that this is going. I like that Dak is like, I'm not going to give too much away. We know he's not going to throw the playbook away. McCarthy and Dak said same language. So that's the Dak language, not the Kellen Moore language. It's going to be that language with the McCarthy tweaks. Anyways, I know it wasn't done yet because he did actually compare, the Dan Quinn situation about maybe taking out plays out of the game plan. Dan Quinn has said he might take out some plays out of the game plan on defense during the week. If the players are not completely comfortable running them in practice. Guess who's going to do the same thing, baby, according to Dak Prescott?
I'm guessing McCarthy probably has a similar idea.
Mike McCarthy, same idea as Dan Quinn. Interesting.
Again, I like that continuity on offense and defense, but Dak said, as we broke practice today, McCarthy said, go look at everything we put in and make sure we're running the things that you like and the things we're good at. If it's something you're a little iffy about, let's get it out. Master what we're great at. And just having that clear communication, being able to work with him day in and day out, It's new, it's refreshing, and it's fun for both of us.
Can I add something to this, too? Can I add something to this beautiful comment by Dak Prescott?
Of course.
This tells me Kellen Moore said, you do it all. What I'm telling you, you got to kind of feel comfortable. Dak probably said, it's cool, I like it. Dak always had input.
Basically, we have to learn everything, even if you kind of suck at this one thing.
And that's the thing. McCarthy wants the best out of you, not the best out of him. That's the difference between Dak Prescott, Kellen Moore and his play calling. I'm not saying play making, like designing. That's great. That's whatever. Play calling, managing a game, managing the week, managing your team on offense. This is what McCarthy's a specialist at. We finally get to see that finally. We had Kellen Moore doing that crap, and you saw what happened. No adaptation. We barely used things that helped our team, like what is it? The high. I always forget. Yesterday I said it.
High tempo.
Yeah, high tempo. Play action more often. Guys in pre-snap motion. All this stuff. We don't do this. Scramble out Dak a little. You scare the defense with his legs. No. Why? Why bother? This was Kellen Moore said my way or the highway, and that was Kellen Moore had that power because Jerry Jones gave him that power. And listen, that's water under the bridge now. But my point has been made from years ago. Before Kellen Moore was there, we've been saying this. Through every year he was there. We need to see this. We never saw it. McCarthy finally had enough power, I guess, to knock out the lesser of two evils there. So what did the man Jason Renfro dropping another $1 holler up on the board? What do you have to say, baby?
Thank you, Jason. And he said another. Go Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Cowboys. 88 points. Drops Mark Hovsepian. Of course, that's a great number, though. 88, the great 88. So much love, Mr. Jason Renfro. So far for this stream, for this week, he is in second place on the overall board and currently in first place on the Cash App. Much love. Appreciate the love there. So, I think you broke down everything that Dak Prescott had to say today.
I think so, yeah.
I will say when we jump on defense here, we kind of broke down the offense pretty damn good as far as the topics, the comments, the quotes, and thoughts. But I know we also had some defensive players, a couple guys speaking. Like this guy. That's not Zeke now. Don't get excited, guys. Some of you guys are either mad or, excited bad or excited happy.
Maybe a little confused.
That's Stephon Gilmore, number 21, guys. He actually clarified what you can actually take away from OTAs. He said, quote, yeah, just mental and learning the plays and learning where your teammates are going to be, learning the terminology and stuff like that, and trying to put that into action. You can't really compete yet. So we really try to do all of our other stuff to be ready when we get to training camp. So again, guys, it was what Dak said. It's all about you take it in the same serious way, like you had said, even if you're not going to do as much physical stuff, but it's all about knowing where everyone's going to be, getting the terminology down. Stephon Gilmore, great job in breaking down what exactly he's doing and what the Cowboys are doing in these days of OTAs, right? This phase 3 of OTAs. So just basically it's getting ready to be ready for training camp. And by the time you get to training camp, guess what? When you start hitting, everyone's going to already know the whole situation, the whole layout. Everyone's going to know each other's spots. Everyone's going to know where they're going to be. And that's going to be major going forward. So, love that, Stephon Gilmore. Now, we're going to stay in the defensive backfield because J-Ron Kearse, baby, number 27. You see him on our thumbnail.
Yep.
Well, why is he still 27? He's wearing 27 now. Well, I'll tell you that in a minute. I'm more concerned on how he felt after and how long it took him to get over that 19-12 divisional loss against the freaking 49ers in the playoffs last year. So what did he say about, how long did it take to get this game behind him?
He said, probably about a week. I was just ready to get back to work and ready to take care of what I need in the off season to get myself ready for the next season. And then it was just about coming in and being ready for our next journey and our next step. I didn't want to dwell on that for too long and let that affect my off season and how I approach things. So I put it to bed. I put to rest that next week and was ready to get back to work and just get back in there with the guys, start building those blocks, so when we do get to that point again, we come out on the other end. And again, I love that mindset. But I also have to admit, I think I like the mindset. Pain that Kearse felt more. And that, I know that sounds really messed up to say.
That shows the true love for the team.
Exactly. That kind of real love and pain and passion, you can't fake that. And it's nice to see it from our own players because that kind of hard work and dedication, it's not every player that wants to give it their all. And for some reason, we've gotten very lucky here in Dallas these last few years that we have a lot of these types of guys on our team right now. So I do want to take advantage of that and try to get further than we have.
And I think that's a lot of that has to do with kind of the mindset we got brought in here by Dan Quinn. I think Dan Quinn's defensive mindset, getting guys like J-Ron Kearse himself, right? He was like a fucking backup, third stringer. No one even cared about him. He was at Minnesota drafted. I liked him. Go back to 5 years ago. I'm like, this guy could be a guy we could build forward with. Now he's in the Cowboys, but he was with the Lions first. Anyone
expected us to be able to do what we're doing now with him, though.
No one thought he'd be like. I actually remember talking about him. I wish I could go find the stream. I think it's still up. Where I literally, it's like, who can we sign in free agency back in 2017 or 2018, whenever it was his rookie year or second year after his rookie year. I said, this is a guy if we can get him, he's a guy that can become a Cam Chancellor type guy in the Chris Richard defensive secondary mindset, which is the same secondary that Dan Quinn led in Seattle, right? Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, he coached Chris Richard there. So, do you guys understand the connection? It was very close to it's kind of Dan Quinn and I had the same mindset on J-Ron Kearse. Great minds think alike. Thank you, Dan Quinn. So, by the way, J-Ron Kearse, again, entering the second year of his 2-year contract back in March. Remember what happened? Mm-hmm. He was hoping to be the first Dallas Cowboy to have the number 0. Plans have changed. We talked about it yesterday. Number 27, it's still 27. J-Ron Kearse. So, he was wearing 27 in the OTAs. We saw that in the pictures. We saw that in all the videos and stuff. We talked about it yesterday. He said this, quote, there were some logistical things that we weren't able to work out, so I'm still number 27, end quote. So it sounds like he's not number 0 now. Number 0, according to things, guys, still available for the Cowboys. I want to add another thing. I believe the logistics are the bill from the NFL. When you when you change numbers, you have to buy every jersey. Now, I don't think J-Ron Kearse had a shitload of jerseys out there, but for guys getting, maybe $5 million a year before taxes, I mean,
whatever amount it was obviously enough to make him think twice.
It could be $500,000, even if it's just, a couple 100,000 jerseys. I'm just saying, like, he might be like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to keep 27. It ain't worth the 0. Now, Micah, he can get number 0. We know Micah Parsons going from 11 to 0. A lot of people are like, please don't. He actually said, don't worry, I'm not going to get it. It's 11 forever. 11 for heaven is what he said. Yeah. So, look, we're hoping. I don't know who's going to be number 0. Will it be DeMarvion Overshown? He's Agent 0 literally on Twitter. He's a rookie. Would we give it the 0 to rookies?
I was just about to say, I'm like, it makes the most sense to give it to a rookie then.
I mean, I think that if anybody rookie's going to get it, it should be DeMarvion Overshown, right? Jason Renfro, I know Jason Renfro wants that. Agent 0. Getting 0 for the first Cowboy in the NFL history. I mean, he has a connection with Jerry Jones through Jerry Jones' grandson. Yeah. So if anyone's going to get 0, it's going to be a rookie. It's a guy who had the name Agent 0. It's a guy who knows Jerry Jones in a personal way. It's going to be DeMarvion Overshown. I'm just saying.
I feel like just for the Agent 0 aspect of it, Jerry would be cool with it because he's just like,
you know how many shirts you can sell? Agent 0 and make a million different T-shirts about that, right? You can't make a jersey around it, but you can make a T-shirt. Jerry Jones is thinking, he's getting his creative part of his company to get as much as he can out of that number 0. But Kearse, he said he didn't say what it was. I believe it's the money it costs to change that jersey over. Just wasn't worth it. So he's still number 27 this season. It sounds like it's not changing. But the assignment of number 0, the jersey number, has not been given to anyone yet. Nobody in the Cowboy roster has number 0 as of now. So that's still in play. And a lot of people are saying, could it be Overshown? That's kind of what I'm I guess, hoping for at this point. But some people are like, it could be. They're hearing Micah could be the guy because Micah was the only other guy interested outside of J-Ron Kearse, and Kearse not doing it. Now Micah's still living off the first round, which is better. First round, money, rookie money, but he's still in that rookie deal, right? So maybe he'll wait till next year to change it. Maybe it'll be too late next year. Who knows? Either way, I just thought I'd throw that number 0 out there.
Micah's also a guy that maybe can take a few more future chances, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
He's
hitting the jackpot
going to
next year.
Expect a bigger contract.
Oh yeah, he's hitting the jackpot next year for sure. So a guy who might not be hitting the jackpot ever is Kelvin Joseph. And we know the issues he had, involved in that murder situation.
Yes.
And now, of course, had a major issue. We're still waiting to hear what is going to be his punishment from the NFL. They still haven't, they still haven't said it.
We still haven't really heard anything in regards to that.
That's always something I have to keep in mind. Even if he gets in that field, even if he's doing great, even if we all love him, he still gets suspended for 2, 4, 8 games. So Kelvin Joseph, and I'll put Dan Quinn up here again because he's running this defense, but Kelvin Joseph yesterday started off with Mukwamu, Donovan Wilson, J-Ron Kearse. He was part of the safety core, the safety group, yesterday on the OTA, for OTA's day 2 on the field. But he ended up playing slot cornerback, which is something he's never done really too often in his college life or in the NFL at all. So now he's starting to play corner. He had a pass breakup, almost had a pick. Just for a little walk around, showing already a bigger improvements in playing on the outside as a corner. And we don't know about that, because you have Mukwamu as a safety that can play corner. When we have our corner that can play safety in Kelvin Joseph. Either way, Dan Quinn has something in plan for him, baby. What did Kelvin Joseph say yesterday about these opportunities that he's getting right now?
He said, having this opportunity to play nickel, it means a lot to me. It's a big chance for me and an advantage because of my capabilities and what I'm able to do. I'm just going to show the coach that I'm available. He can rely on me to play the position whenever he needs to. I'm going to take the position that I'm in and make the best of it. Just being able to learn from everybody and learn from my mistakes, that makes me more mature. Like me getting benched last year, not getting mad about it, and just using it to get better this offseason on my mistakes and my reason on why I couldn't play last year, or why I was benched, or why I gave up passes. This offseason was a whole different focus to come back better, faster, and stronger than what I was last year. And honestly,
you gotta love that.
If he really did spend a quarter of the time that he spent probably partying and getting into shenanigans the past offseason compared to this one, then absolutely yes. Because, Kelvin Joseph was a big disappointment in that we did occasionally see flashes of some of that talent we were hoping he had, but it did seem like he was unable to fully dedicate himself to the football side of things without other distractions, let's say.
Yeah, Lost Organization saying he needs to give number 1 back, Kelvin Joseph, if he's going to play like a number 100. So I'm just saying, like, we'll have to wait and see, but I think that right now the first steps going forward, the opportunity shown to him, given to him from Dan Quinn, from the scheme, from whatever, that could be a way for him to make this team, stay on special teams, of course, but maybe make the team as an inside-outside corner that's still growing, getting better. But obviously you got Deron Bland and you got Jordan Lewis in there in front of him at the slot. So he had to be our 3rd-string slot corner or our 6th-string outside corner. He's still, even though he's looking good, it's one day with no pads. When we see what happens over a span of the next couple of months with Kelvin Joseph, outside of being fined or suspended probably, right? So we got to wait and see. But once everything gets kind of laid out, we'll have a clearer picture on the Kelvin Joseph situation, in my opinion, and what then is the next step for him as far as earning a spot in this team. Still, even though he's a 2nd-round pick, he's played not like that. He's played, unfortunately, like an undrafted guy right now. So I'm hoping, guys, I'm really hoping, again, the nickel position gives them that versatility. As you know, the Cowboys love that flex. If the Cowboys can do that, and Dan Quinn, specifically him, if he can get something out of Kelvin Joseph and get him back on track, back on the map on this defense, we might be able to still pull something out of Kelvin Joseph in the future, maybe even in this season. So that's pretty much it here, guys. I think it was a great discussion. Any quick comments in there as we do the shout-outs, baby?
Yeah, Jason Ramfro said Deuce looked good with number 22.
Yeah. No.
I was going to say, I don't know about that. No. And then Deuce, I'm in Lost in Translation.
I thought you said it looks good in a 42.
Yeah, Lost in Translation said, I would have loved to see Deuce get number 2. Like, 2, I'm fine with.
I like for the little guys, I really like the one number. Numbers. Yeah, the one number fits better on their chest or the jersey, whatever it may be. But 42, I thought was going to look bad. I think he spread up the Sproles thing, and I'm like, you know what? Not a bad idea. Not a bad that Sproles 42. Sproles is 43, but he's getting 42.
It's smart to remind people of another similar, smaller running back that was able to have very good success.
Yeah, because
again, they thought a little bit outside the box and were willing to take that chance. And I think the Cowboys are absolutely a team that could, and my point is that we would be able to use Vaughn in a very creative way and lean into some of his, maybe some of the things that maybe others would see as a negative, the way that we see him actively using it as a positive.
Yeah.
So, the way that he plays, his style of play, his game style. I said that like three.
All I'm saying is 40.
I repeated that 3 different ways. I'm sorry.
42 I think looks fine. And by the way, Jason Renfro never, ever, ever, ever will 22 be given, and he will not look good in 22 because the only guy who looks good in 22 is Emmett Smith. That's
now,
fact.
Chris Plumage is saying after 25 plus years of not even being in an NFC championship game, reality overtakes optimism for this Cowboy fan. And you know what? Extremely valid. No, I don't think anyone can really counter that statement. But the energy from this team in this past year and the way that we felt going into that second playoff game that we had, it did feel different than any other time, I think, in the last 20-something years. And obviously, I can only speak for
the last 10.
The last third chunk of that time. But still, I do think that this team is poised in a different way. And of course, just, you bring up a very valid point. It doesn't matter how poised we are if we don't actually freaking get there. Yeah. Right? But the potential is there in a way that I don't think we can say in a similar way from previous years. I think in other years, it was a little bit more optimism, a little more hype, and we still did pretty well. So it wasn't all completely baseless. But the defense we have right now, guys, that's a championship winning type of defense. And I do feel like that is a game-changing factor. Something that we have not had previously in the last however many freaking years it's been. So
the defense is the key, for sure.
Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there.
Good point.
Lost in Translation said Overshown needs that 0.
Listen, I think it's matching up now. Now that I'm thinking of it like this with you guys tonight, I'm starting to think that 0 is going to be given to Overshown because not just because we got to give it to him because he's Texas Longhorn, because you guys like him, because Jerry Jones knows him through his grandson personally. We drafted him. He's a Cowboy now. He had number 0. His name is Agent 0 on Twitter. I'm just saying everything fits for the first guy to get 0. I mean, Jerry Jones definitely would give it to Overshown.
Especially now that Kearse obviously lost the first dibs.
Yeah, Kearse, well, he didn't lose it. He said, I'm not paying that much.
You know what I mean?
When
I say lose it, I don't mean he got stolen from him. I'm saying he lost out on his chance to make good on that first dib that he got. Since he was the first guy to say, And
then he realized, it's going to cost me $500,000? No.
You can have it. So Lost in Translation also throwing out there, this offense does what it's built to do. The kicker should have little influence on this game.
As long as you get a kicker that can make him from 35 to 45 yards. Maher's hitting it great last year, but he missed extra points. That can cost you a game, no matter how good the offense is, right? Mm-hmm. So, got to be careful. But the defense is the key. And the defense will always keep us in the game. And as DeAndre Hopkins himself said, defense wins championships. Mm-hmm. Offense wins games. Defense wins championships.
So, baby, any kind of final points or thoughts from you?
That's it. I mean, guys, we're rolling out here as well. A little over an hour, I think, tonight. We were just chill today, just kind of relaxing and having a good one, a Fan Friday with you all. So about an hour and a half in tonight, and it's a good hefty stream. Tomorrow, guys, will be a special stream here at My Cowboys Family. So make sure you tune back in here tomorrow around 12 midnight Eastern Time, 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific. And later, right, we're going to be on tomorrow night doing a little bit of putting the cameras on, doing a little bit of a party stream here. It's a long weekend for a lot of people. Of course, Sunday, Monday, it's going to be, a little more somber-ish, I guess, Memorial Day. But we're here celebrating a long weekend, and, we're going to have some fun tomorrow here, relax a little bit here. Unless some major news breaks, we'll have a separate stream for that. But tomorrow we'll have a one-time only stream here with the wife and myself on camera. Talking, we'll talk some football, some Cowboys. But we do that every single time. We'll talk some music, some movies, some just anything, any kind of topics here, and we'll discuss it with you guys in the chat. We're gonna have little, I don't know about competitions, but we'll have a little bit of fun with maybe some drinks, And then once the stream ends, that's it. You can't rewatch it. There's no replay. It's just about enjoying it and enjoying it here with us live while we're live on it. So you got to have that. Of course, you hit the like for this stream, but make sure you subscribe to us and make sure you hit notification bell to all videos so you know when we're going to go live tomorrow. Also, if you jump on Twitter at MyCowboysFamily, we post there before we go live, so you know there in case the notifications are broken on Twitter, on YouTube, which they do sometimes. You can always get it through Twitter if you follow us there. Of course, our Discord. All the links are in the description. Discord, fun, free football 24/7, 365. You can jump in there, get all the news, info, and updates as well. We type them out there, discuss them there with the family, but also we drop when we go live through there as well. So
Always.
you won't miss the one-time only stream tomorrow right here on My Cowboys Family. It'll be a lot of fun. And then Sunday's the finale, the wrap-up, the whole thing. Now,
Before
also,
I do the shout-outs here in the chat, I have to do the shout-outs here
that's what I was about to say.
Board,
Hell yeah.
Because the sponsor of the week, guys, make sure to give a shout-out to David S.
Hell yeah.
Not just the sponsor of the week, but the Cash App King as well.
Boom. David S. First time ever repping it. And he just took over the entire board. But we might have some new winners this week. Right now, Marco Sepian, he's still the dominator there for 12 weeks plus 88 points on that stream, boss. And if you look above as the leader here, Mark is also the overall leader still, even after a whole night later. He's still in first place over Jason Renfro, who is second on the overall board, but he's first on the Cash App side. So much love to Jason Renfro on the Cash App, Venmo, PayPal side. Much love to Marco Sepian on the overall board side. Those are your leaders right now this week. And I said, much love to the king and the sponsor of the week, David S., repping it this entire week. We got another couple days of David S. representation. And, hey, anyone can still win it this week and take the crown over the baton for next week. Anyways, baby, on that note, it's time for the shout-outs, I think, here. And I think that's what you're going to do, right? You're going to do shout-outs. So let's do them and wrap it up.
So thank you to Mike Aldana, Desmond Ironman, House Nelson in the house, Choctaw Montana 808, much love. Jason Renfro, of course.
There you go.
Lost in Translation, have a great night. Braves fan, hello and hi. Chris Plumage, much love. We have, who else is here? Let me see. Burton Barr representing it. Oh, he's bringing the flute. Let's see. We have Big DZ83, much love to you. Of course, Jason Renfro.
Yeah. Who, again, he wants, Jason wants, let's see, Deuce in 22. It'll never happen. But, yeah, Bullet Bob Hayes. And, of course, Emmitt Smith, as he said, the only guys wearing 22. And after Emmitt Smith, the all-time leading rusher in the NFL history, I don't think anyone ever is getting number 22 as long as Jerry Jones is alive. So, that's what I think there. By the way, House Nelson in the house and Mike Aldana here. I want to say, House Nelson said, Jerry might reserve that 0 for all the sorry kickers we keep getting. And Mr. Aldana is, of course, backing up what we said here. Dallas will never, that number 22 will never be worn by anybody else unless Emmitt Smith gives his blessing.
Which, again, it would have to probably be a running back. I'm just throwing that out there.
It had to be somebody that has unbelievable upside. And we had Zeke here. And, I'm just saying. Deuce, the 6th-round pick, ain't getting 22 ever. And that's never happening. But anyways, you guys feel me, right? Yes. Let him get 42 or 43 like he has. That's a great number for him to remind you of the kind of running back he is a Darren Sproles type.
And honestly, at least for me, it's more about putting those types of expectations onto such a young player. Let him build his own legacy in that sense. So, anyway, let me keep going with the shout-outs here. Of course, Scorpio, have a great night. Much love to you. Let me see who else is here. Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett. Let's say Williams. Skeptical fan, always staying skeptical.
Always.
Hoodlum.
Another gifted a membership, by the way.
Desmond Ironman.
By him and Jason Renfro.
All of you guys, seriously. Huge shout out to every single person who took the time to say hello and hi here tonight at My Cowboys Family. Of course, remember, like you said, baby, we go live almost every single day here with news, info, updates on our Cowboys. So make sure to follow us on all social media or hit that notification bell so that you never miss a live stream. And you're always sticking around for My Cowboys Family, especially since, like you said, tomorrow we're doing an extra special one-time viewing-only live stream. So you got to be there to be part of it. Hopefully we'll see you all there. But, baby, as we wrap things up, why do we do what we do here at My Cowboys Family?
I want you to answer it.
It's that navy blue.
Hell yeah.
That silver, too.
Hell yeah.
And that star over everything.
Hell yeah. Never forget, guys, the number one thing here, again, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, we're always going to rep that star forever here on MCF. But the number one thing here on My Cowboys Family for almost 6 years and beyond, never forget, as always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and 7 and 8 and beyond Hell yeah. Guys, thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. On a Fan Friday, can't do it without you guys. Also, much love to those that dropped the love from above and the gifted memberships as well. Mr. Skeptical Fan and Mr. Jason Renfro dropping the gifts to the family here. Frank Moyer, Lost in Translation, get those memberships. And Dwayne Broussard also dropping the love in here. So appreciate your guys' support. Can't do this thing without you guys. Truly the best fans of all YouTube. On that note, it is time to clock out officially for the night, baby. Before we can do that, relock and reload for our special one-time show, and we got to get our livers ready for tomorrow. And of course, Sunday, if you guys don't see it tomorrow, we'll go right to Sunday. We'll be live again, hopefully, late at night for the finale, wrapping up the whole weekend. Before we can do all that, though, baby, what do we got to do before we drop out of here for the night?
We got to drop the beat.
Ooh, that beat has now been officially dropped. Guys, thank you once again for rocking it here with the M to the C to that F and MCW as well right next to me here. Cartoon style tonight. Guys, check us tomorrow for that one-time only special. Can't wait to do that. It'll be a lot of fun. Those are usually a lot of fun. There's a lot of ways you guys can be interacting and part of that. We'll talk about it tomorrow here. Only here on MCF. But tonight, we talked about it all in our little, Cowboys chat house here. Another one in the books here. Again, a question marks about DeAndre Hopkins. Will the Cowboys go after him? They may, if he's like $4 million. We talked about the boxing situation there, training here with Micah Parsons and Dan Quinn and some other Cowboy defensive linemen. J-Ron Kearse 27, Turpin time. Other guys spoke today all across our offense and defense and special teams, and so did Dak Prescott. I should say yesterday, right? On our OTA's day 2, but did Dak Prescott doing really breaking down the game plan going forward here without giving too much away. We talked about it all and more, as we always do here on the nightly. Another Cowboys chat right here on MCF, where it's always about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never ever forget the number one thing right here, my Cowboys family. Much love to everyone in the house. We'll see you back tomorrow for that one-time viewing special. Be there, be square. No replays on that one. We'll be back, of course, Sunday as well for the finale. Much love to all, guys. Have a great night. Stay safe. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your weekend as we catch back with you guys tomorrow. And as always, peace out. And never, ever forget, go Cowboys!